when a song like Back for Good gets to #1 in Spain, we're still celebrating that now.
It was always music, songwriting. The one thing in all of that I'd never thought about was the screaming girls. Everything was healed between all of us.
And back then, there wasn't this real awareness of mental health. You know, for instance, when Robbie left, we didn't realise, you know, what he was going through.
When Rob left the band, he got off. And then I think the rest of us sort of went, oh, well, I can get off this thing. It was scary. And we were very young people. So, yeah, there's one new song in the Netflix, but there's many more to come.
I wish we could have the circus here in Spain, too.
I do too.
Brenda, how are you doing?
Nice to see you, Monica.
We know the jingle, don't we?
Yeah, that's it. How do you remember that?
Yeah.
We have a long history of #1s together, and a lot of moments, great and nice moments.
and we came over to see you just a couple of years ago, and we got to perform on your stage, which was amazing.
Yeah, how do you remember the moment at Los 40 Music Award, with that golden music award to pay attention to all your whole career, this 35-year career?
I know. Thank you. We were very grateful.
Isn't it funny that when we first started to travel, when the band first started, Spain was the first country we ever went to. And we didn't go to the radio station. We did like a TV show. I think it was live for about 12 hours, this TV show. It was a long event. It took all day. But anyway, the second or the third time we went, we actually did our first stop into the radio studios. And we remember it was surrounded by people as we were getting in there. It was a great experience. And it's amazing that you've stuck with us through all of these years. So thank you to everybody.
There is one thing we loved in this docu-series, that is the footage about the Básico 40. Several times, in fact, what do you remember of that day after being #1 in La Lista de los 40 in a radio station with Back for Good?
Do you know, it's when you're our band and you started off like we did in like the north of England, playing shows around, you know, your area, and then you start to branch out, and eventually you might get to London, and then maybe you might cross the water and start to go to a few places outside of that. I don't think when we started off as a band that we ever... I've been to Spain on holiday. I've been to Benidorm when I was younger, but to be #1 in the Spanish charts, I mean, it's insane, really. So yeah, when a song like Back for Good gets to #1 in Spain, we're still celebrating that now, 30 years later. You know, we got to go on tour last year. We had a wonderful tour in Spain. We went to places we'd never been to before, and met so many great people. We had great audiences everywhere. So it's magical for us, and I think it's particularly magical when you know that you went on holiday to a place with your mum and dad maybe when you were younger, and then you're going back there to tour. You know, it's when I rocked up in Benidorm, I never thought that, you know, a few years later I'll be back there #1 in the charts. So always grateful.
I've already watched your docu-series, you know, on Netflix, these 3 episodes, and I have to say that I absolutely loved it, because it's very, very personal, honest. You can see a lot of truth, and also I love that you can feel and you can see the different perspectives. I mean, everyone's opinion on every issue.
I think that's something that the people who when Netflix and the team put the show together, is they wanted to make something that felt like everybody was presented. So we have to be grateful to them for doing that. I think there could have been more of me in it, but never mind. No, it was a really good story, and it's not easy to tell, obviously, 35 years in 3 series in 3 parts.
You know, one thing for us which is lovely is that I feel like we've finally got something. If you wanted to point someone who didn't know anything about the band to a piece of footage, this would be a great place to start. If you want to learn about our band, go to Netflix and watch this, because it will tell you the journey we've been on. And I think, like Mark said, we were all represented equally, which is always hard because there's 5 different stories, but I thought they did a very good job. Now we have something that will be there forever, that tells the story of our band to this point.
It's a 35 years story. I mean, it's a very long story together. It's all your life. I mean, it's also very interesting that you have shared this very personal footage that I don't know where did you keep these tapes? I don't know if after the breakup, being everything so hard, you completely forgot about them. You didn't want to know about this material. And now it's been like probably a surprise to see you back then all together.
Netflix came round to my house, and down in the basement, I had quite a lot of boxes full of old VHSs and Hi8 tapes that had never, ever been seen, because obviously when you're recording, you just take them out and you put them in a box. And they took them away, and lo and behold, when we saw, especially the first episode, we saw footage that we'd never ever seen before. Even I'd never even seen before, and them tapes belonged to me. And I gave them all the old diaries as well, from going back to 1989, late 1989, and all the original gigs we did from the very beginning. And it had some of those snippets in the footage of some of the early gigs. So. Yeah, it was great. I think they really, like the boys said, I think they really captured it. Yeah, they got it in a nutshell. It was great.
It's so cute, to be able to see you, so little boys, when you were just kids. Because Mark, for example, you wanted to be a football player. You were very much into breakdance, and we can see all that.
Yeah, it's funny when you sit and watch it with your children. So my boy now, my oldest, I sat and watched a bit of it with him, and he was 19. And so then I sort of thought, oh my God, I was younger than him when we started it, which was kind of a bit crazy, to think that, life's gone. Like, look at where we are now and what we're doing. We've all got families. And it's funny when you watch it with your own children of the age that you were when you started in the band. You realise you've been most of your life part of this band.
What about you, Gary? Because you can see that you tell that after school you went straight home because the only thing you wanted to do is to listen to music to your idols, right? Elton John, ABBA. So how did you feel, after the massive success when you had like the Beatles? All these girls going crazy, screaming for you.
I started early with music. I was 10 and 11 when I was starting to do gigs on stage. And all the time all the years till I would join the band when I was 19, it was always music, songwriting, playing, performing, learning to sing better, learning to do harmonies. The one thing in all of that I'd never thought about was the screaming girls, the adulation, the fame and all the rest of it. I think as a band, we sort of worked that out together because we were all going through it together. I think we all started in different places. In that first episode, you see everybody finding their feet within life and the band. But the one thing that was consistent throughout definitely the first episode was the fact that we were all dealing with this in real time. And it was hard, it was exciting, it was thrilling, it was wonderful and incredible as the footage shows. But it was a new part of our life we'd never had before.
It's also very nice how beautiful it begins. Now that you've mentioned the first episode, with Robbie and you singing together, that precise part of the song of Back for Good is so complete and forever will be. So it's like a wish for forever reconciliation.
Oh, I think it is now. I think that sort of healed, everything was healed between all of us about 2010, 2011. And it's been wonderful ever since because, one of the things that I think I realized through all the times where we didn't speak to one another was that you missed being part of each other's success and also being able to help each other when things aren't going so well. And that's a really big thing to have lost in all those years. So I think at this point, we're really determined to make up for that and be part of each other's successes and failures from this point on.
And how do you see conflicts with time? Do you think things have been very different if you had listened more to each other?
I'm sure we all have a different opinion, but, I think when you're in a group in the 90s, for 6 years, and we're all young, some of us are teenagers starting, especially Robbie being very young, 16 years old. All that we ever lived for was take that. Then none of us had families, none of us had kids, and that's basically all we had. Everything moved so fast, and back then there wasn't this real awareness of mental health. For instance, when Robbie left, we didn't realise what he was going through. his alcohol, his drugs, whatever it may be. I think as you grow older, you can stand back and look at the situation, especially when we came back in 2005, 2006. A couple of us had kids then, and you start to realize what's important in life, and it's basically family that's most important. Each other, as 4 band members, me, Jason, Gary and Mark getting back together, we all wanted to make sure everybody was happy with each other, with their situation, whereas back then in the 90s, it wasn't even heard of, it wasn't even thought of. So we, over the years and the maturity and becoming adults and becoming parents, the awareness came along, and that's when we started to, in our heads, what really did go on when Robbie left the band, so we looked after each other basically.
Well, I think the 90s for all of us, it felt like a running race, and it felt like you were on this carousel that was turning so fast you couldn't get off, you were just holding on. And then finally one of us got off. When Rob left the band, he got off. And then I think the rest of us sort of went, oh, well, I can get off this thing. I am in control. I do have some kind of control. So with all that speed and all that dealing with this new world that I talked about earlier of being famous, and it was scary. And we were very young people. I mean, I was 25 when the band ended the first time round, as old as my son is now. And it's a scary environment. And I think definitely we could have all helped each other. But we were so young. And the difference between the 90s version of Take That and the latest version is we were adults when we came back. And like Howard said, the gift of perspective, which that doesn't just get handed to you. That doesn't. It's something you earn over time. So as usual, of course, lots of times we can sit and say, I wished I'd have done this, we should have done that. But the story is as it is, and it's the one we have to accept. And all you can do now is try and make up for it.
And what are your upcoming projects? Because we listened to a new song also in this docu-series. I don't know if you can tell us something about your next release. What can you share with us today?
There is. We're very excited. Always new music's exciting for us, especially, like you say, to be a band who's been around for 35 years and we're still able to record new music and we still have fans who are interested in our new music is just brilliant. We've been in the studio for about a year, I think now. We've been writing away and we are just starting to record. So there's one new song in the Netflix, but there's many more to come and it will all be released, I think, in the last quarter of this year. So very exciting.
And what can you tell me about the circus? I mean, is it going to be so spectacular, like the last one with this huge elephant, acrobat? What is going to be this production like, the circus in Britain? By the moment?
Yeah, we only do fantastic Take That, especially when it comes to concert. Unfortunately, it's going to be toured in the UK, and we're just trying to keep it as authentic and as original to the one that we did in 2009. There's a few little tweaks and stuff like that, and there's probably a few additions of maybe 2 songs, maybe You're a Superstar being there. But yeah, it's the thing that we pride ourselves upon is doing live. Like Mark said, being in Spain, doing live gigs there, it was a real eye-opener to see that we had so many amazing Spanish fans. And, when we're there in the UK doing the circus, it's going to bring back great memories for us because we always wanted to do more when we did it back in 2009.
I wish we could have the circus here in Spain too.
I do too.
I went to see you the last time you came to Jerez, to that festival. I took my 4-year-old son with me. It was quite an adventure. Maybe I'm a big fan of you, of course.
Really
and we even have a choreography with open up windows, a fire in the sky, you know what it's like, We made up a choreography for this song and he absolutely loved his music. And I love seeing that, these new fans that are coming to your music 35 years after this long and beautiful story began.
I bet your son would love the circus because of the elephants and all the acrobats, and I mean it's quite a spectacle. We will invite you, Mark. Please come and see us in London or something.
Yeah, we'd love to spend our holidays there in Britain, and you British people, you come to Spain.
And
maybe Malaga would be a nice place.
The elephant. We've only got the elephant for for 5 weeks and then he's going on holiday, and so he won't travel anywhere else. But come and see us in London. He'll love the show. I'm sure it'd be worth it.
So very happy to see you all. And
bless you.
Lovely.
Looking forward
Thank
to your
you.
new music.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Wonderful. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Suscríbete y comenta los mejores contenidos.